Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of ScholarChitChat. Today, I'm your host, Joan. If you're interested in studying abroad and this is your first time tuning in, welcome home. This is ScholarChitChat podcast. Here, we are committed to bringing you relevant information that will help you achieve your study abroad dreams. And to our returning listeners, welcome. We're glad to have you. And for this episode, we have a special guest who have successfully secured the GCUB scholarship to study in Brazil. So I'll just let him introduce himself.
Yeah, good day, everyone. It's nice to be here. My name is Alao Adewi Oyebisi. I'm a graduate of Agricultural Economics and Extension from Lautech Akintola University of Technology, Lautech. I graduated in the year 2014, and ever since then, I've worked in several places, several capacities, starting from intern to assistant manager, manager on the farm specifically, because I studied agriculture, and I've worked in several capacities. And to add to that, I've worked as a delivery associate in Jumia. My last job was I was a tutor with a state government institution. All right, that's just a little about me. I think that's cool.
Okay, so what are you currently doing? Your research interest is in master's, PhD?
Yeah, currently I'm in Brazil for my master's. I'm having my master's in agribusiness because I believe Brazil is big in agriculture, particularly agribusiness part. So I'm having my master's here in agribusiness. My research interest falls between, it's can I say it's cumbersome? But of course, to streamline it down, I think majorly my research interest lying in two SDG 1 and 2. The first is no poverty, and the second is zero hunger. So my research interest falls within these two.
Oh, thank you very much. We're glad to have you, and I'm sure our listeners will have a lot to learn from your experience. Thank you for joining us.
It's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so to start, can you give us a little background of how and when you heard about studying in Brazil and what motivated you to apply?
Okay, thank you very much. To be honest, Brazil was the last on my list. That's the truth. Brazil was the last on my list simply because of the fact that there are a lot of hurdles to cross. The first is the language. Brazil speaks Portuguese, all right? I'm coming from English-speaking country, so immersing into the language, the culture and stuff. So I'm not even ready for the stress. But of course, sometimes it is what it is. I actually got to know about Brazil after some rejection from the UK, particularly UK. Let me put it that way. So I think then Brazil became the next home. I heard about it on Nairaland. So from there, the research started. All right. Watched a lot of YouTube videos, read a lot of things online about Brazil. To be clear, I think I've read about Brazil 5 months before the application window starts. So I have more time on my side to prepare, to have a lot of information. So then I give it a shot, right?
That's good. Okay, so the first time you applied and that was the first time you got it?
To be honest, I was just fortunate. It's just great.
Oh, that's actually good.
Yeah, thank you.
So next question. Just give us a little bit background about the scholarship.
Yeah.
Yes. About you.
About GCUB. Yeah, I think we call it GCUB, GCUB, right?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you. We call it GCUB. You see, GCUB is a nice offer, to be honest with you, because generally in Brazil, there's no tuition fee payment. So what we term as scholarship does not really resonate with them as scholarship. What the Brazilians sees as scholarship is payment of stipend, because ordinarily we are not paying any tuition. It is tuition free, right? Okay,
so even for international students?
For everybody. Like, if you're in Brazil, you enjoy every benefit a citizen enjoy. Is it free health? Anything. So it's for both the citizen, both the immigrants, tuition fee is free. You don't pay. All right, with the exception of you going to private institutions. If you are going to private institution where you might be privy to English speaking more, then of course you can be prepared for the payments. But if it's the federal or the state-owned institutions, it is free. You don't pay. So No, majorly you don't pay tuition, as I've rightly said. You are given stipend, which is going to cover your living expenses, accommodation, and some other stuff. And of course, you might be fortunate to have schools that have accommodation. So if you so desire, you can stay in the accommodation. But if some schools don't have, then you have to get an accommodation outside, and you did be fine. But medical, every other thing, lounge, restaurants, it's the same access the students have, the same access you have as well, right?
So were there any expenses you had to manage, maybe your visa and travel?
Yeah, you see, the GCUB doesn't cover visa application fee. I think the only thing it covers is your tuition, which is free. Then you're entitled to a stipend every month for the period of while your program is still running, right? For the visa, I think it's just a simple process. And let me actually be clear here. I think in all applications, GCUB is the simplest in Brazil. Yeah.
Okay.
Someone is a lazy type, I think I should give it a shot. Because, yeah, to be honest, it's only in GCUB. You don't have to attend interview. Sometimes, I don't even think you need any recommendation as I start. Right? So you just prepare your documents, you prepare the SA1, the SA2, and you will make it fantastic, right? And you're good. Yeah. So I think the only exception is during my own set, because we're the GCUB-Mob 3 set, we're the third edition, right? GCUB is in partnership with OSC, Organization of Southern Cooperation. So we're giving a one-time relocation allowance of $1,500, right? Just set to while you're in the country. And of course, I think with that cost, it should cover virtually your expenses, right? This is what it is. Yeah, so
I think I read somewhere that the money has been slashed in half for this year.
Unfortunately, the money has been slashed to $750 now. But of course, in my set, it was 1,500 USD.
Yeah, I mean, but in the brighter side, I think it's actually good in a way, so more people get to benefit.
Of course, yeah, definitely. I think perhaps that is definitely what they actually do, because I believe the OSC or GCUB, I wouldn't know, face some challenges even in the payments. As I speak, some set of people have not been paid, right? So maybe because of some logistics on their end, that calls for it. Right? Yeah. But of course, I've been paid by the way, so I have to.
Congrats.
Thank you, my sister.
Yeah, so no application fee also.
No, I think the moment you made your application in the GCUB, after the name has been shortlisted, randomly they choose. So during my set, we are 46 from Nigeria in total.
Wow.
So the 46 candidates were all selected for the OSC grant. So everybody is just going to pay. But of course, I wouldn't know for some other countries if they've been chosen randomly, because in my set, I think the Mozambicans, they were up to like around 140 something or 130 something. So I wouldn't know if they are randomly chosen, right? But during my set, 300 candidates were shortlisted, but the 46 of us from Nigeria were also among the shortlisted candidates. So
that's actually beautiful. Yeah. Okay. So let's just go into the application. What are the selection criteria, and then how can someone that is looking to apply increase their chances of being selected?
Well, the selection criteria, I think, or let me put it this way: the selection requirement is your SA1. Of course, you have to be a graduate, all right? Be it HND or degree. I don't think Brazil actually discriminates about that.
Wow, that's actually good. So for HND holders, this is good news.
I've once heard of someone from that got admission in Brazil to study masters with HND. So even if it's a short, it's not going to be a crime since it is free. You are not paying a dime, right? So it's not going to cost you anything to put in all the applications. So you have to be a graduate from an institution that is recognized by the government, right? So you have to have your transcript handy. Then you write your 2 essays. We have SA1 and SA2. The SA1 is more like a motivation letter or a statement of purpose kind of a thing. Then this SA2 has to do with the proposal of what you intend doing in Brazil. Mind you can be in Brazil and the proposal changes, but of course you have to give something, write a proposal that is in tandem with the research interest of your department. So if you have those 2 things, this year I'm not even sure recommendation letter is actually needed, right? But I think you might even did that. So that was why I said it's an application for the lazy one, so to say. So
so I think we'll come back to the essays later, but for now, what do you think is the primary focus of the scholarship? Is it based on your academic merit or your commitment to development, maybe in Brazil or your home country?
Let's start with the vision of GCUB to start with, right? GCUB actually wanted a kind of internalization in their country. Here they speak Portuguese, okay?
Yeah.
So they're looking for a way to bring a lot of people into the country just to sell their technology, their innovations, their inventions to the outside world. Simply because the main intention is you come here, you study what you've learned, you can take it back to your home country, right? So it's a kind of vision they actually have. So you come here, you have that, and you're back.
So can someone with a 2-2 apply for this scholarship, or is only for maybe first class or second class?
On that part, I'm not a first class student,
Okay.
I'm not one. So I graduated with approximately 4.4 CGPA, right? So I think the only thing I did spectacular was just to write a good essay. Okay, I have some publications to myself. That's also, it's not majorly for first class students, or just give it a shot. 2-2, 2-1, first class, you're good, right? Simply because randomly the schools are going to check out all those things you write, and they will make their choice, okay? So it's not specifically for a first class student or second class, or anything. Just to make sure you have a solid...
So earlier you mentioned the language barrier. So once you get the scholarship, you are taught in Portuguese?
I think I have to be emphatic on this, because in the course of editals you're seeing, maybe you see some lecture might be in English, in French, in Spanish. I think it's nice you prepare your mind. If you're not ready to learn the Portuguese language, please stay off Brazil. Because I can tell you 95 of Brazilians speak Portuguese. The remaining 5 is just English. It's hard for you to come by someone that actually speaks English, right? But of course, some of the professors understand and speak English. So like myself, I think my experience why I was here, the O class is in Portuguese. That's the honest truth. But for the professors that understand English, I do make the request before the class. I request for the slides, so I translate to English. Then sometimes I request they actually speak in English so as to carry me alongside. Some that are fluent in English give me that grace. They do that for me. But mostly, I can assure you, every lecture is in Portuguese.
So there's no need for any English proficiency test?
No, you don't need anything. It's just quite simple. You don't need any English proficiency, Portuguese proficiency, because when you are here, we have to learn the language. They knew you don't understand the language, so they wanted you to bring in your expertise and learn from them and give yours to them as well.
Okay, so now let's move to the university selection. Okay. Do you have any tips for selecting universities? Like, are there some universities that have higher chances of acceptance, or?
In that aspect, I think while making the application, all the universities are given equal opportunities. Okay. Meanwhile, more a university can have, I think it depends on the vacancy that existed in those universities, right?
Okay.
Sometimes, the scholarship is being paid by the government, by the federal government, but sometimes there are some states, governments that give support to the federal government, right? So it depends on the vacancy, on the allotted vacancy that is available in the school. So let's say, for instance, during my set, just 2 master students space is available, and I think 2 is available for the PhD. So they will have to just choose based on the available vacancies that is existing in the department. So, but based on the information I had, I think it's easier to be more to concentrate on the southern part, because Brazil is divided into 5 regions. You have the north, you have the south, the south central or something. So it's more preference is going to be given to people in the southern parts this year, I guess.
Yeah. So, how many universities can applicants select?
By default, because Brazil have 5 regions, you are allowed to choose five universities, 1 from individual region. But of course, it's possible a region doesn't have your course. So that doesn't mean you can choose like more from other regions. Let's say, for instance, in the north, there's no university that is offering your course. But in the south, we're having like 3 that is choosing, giving your course. So you go for the 3. In my own time, I have the privilege of choosing 5, but I just chose 3 because it's 3 actually aligned with my discipline. So it's not even a must you choose the 5. If you're okay with 2, with 3, you're good to go.
Yeah, so I just want us to be very clear on these universities. Is it like for Nigeria now, JAM, first choice, second choice, third choice? Is it like that, or it can just be random? Or do you have to put your favorites first?
It can just be random. There is no first choice, second choice. We are choosing 5 institutions. So it's not coming in any order, just 5.
Okay. Thank you very much for that.
Yeah,
so now, once you apply for the scholarship, you don't need to apply for the university admission, or you have to apply for university also, or the scholarship covers both with the university application?
Of course, while you are making your application, you are choosing the university you are applying to, right?
Yeah.
So the requirement is actually going to be there. While doing your application, you choose the individual university. So that means you've made your formal application. You don't have to go through any other application again. Just that very one, it's sufficient.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think we're through with the university aspect. So now let's go into the essays now.
Okay.
I think this is one thing that most applicants are scared of, writing the essay. So can you share any tips with us for writing a winning essay based on your experience and what you know now?
Yeah, to actually start with, I think the Brazilian government or the GCUB have been clear enough about what they actually wanted you to write in your essay. Because if you take your time to go through the editorial, the publication, the notice, I think they call it editorials here. So if you go through it, it's spelled out what each subheading should have, right? You talk about your of course, we have 2 essays. We have essay 1, we have essay 2. So the essay 1, you have to write about your background, what you've done before, just give a background about yourself, where you graduated from, what you've done before, what has been your success, your achievements, right? So then after that, you talk about why you've been in Brazil, your academic expectations. What do you want to learn? What do you want to add to yourself? All right. Now, upon returning back to your home country, your prospects on returning back to your home country. What do you want to give back to your home country? So all these things are actually spelled out, right? You just try to break it down and you try to articulate it in such a way that it will be compelling enough. So I think that's for essay 1. For the essay 2 as well, it is spelled out the specification they wanted from you in terms of text, size, and everything. And of course, it's actually spelled out. Your research or proposal, of course, you have to give it a title. The title should be there. The background of the research. It's nice if you can make some citations in terms of literature review. The statement of the problem, the central theme, the problem, this research statement, the problems you actually want to solve. And it's going to be a nice one if you can review some literature, then the timeline you'll be using to carry out all this research and your references. Now, having said that, while I was doing my application, you can underplay the role of mentorship. As I rightly said from the onset, I research a lot on YouTube, to be honest with you, and I read a lot. So in the course of my research, I met one of the beneficiaries. He was among the first beneficiary, right? So I met him on YouTube. I have to reach out to him. I consulted with him. We worked together. Of course, it's a paid service, right? So we worked together. He gave me a lot of tips on, which is actually what I'm actually doing now. I'm giving out. Okay. So how you draft your essay, how you do it in such a way that is actually compelling. So, but let me add this as well. I think I did something in addition to all of this, based on my consultation with a beneficiary, for the fact that it's getting competitive day in, day out. So he recommended translate to Portuguese. But because, of course, as I said earlier, 95% of professors here speaks and read Portuguese. Even though it's clearly stated that you can write in English, you can write in French, in Portuguese, of course. But I translated mine to Portuguese. So I think I did exceptionally. But that doesn't mean it's because of the fact that I translated to Portuguese gave me another. I think it's just great because I have some other people that do the same thing too. Unfortunately, we are not.
Yeah, so that's good. Okay, so for someone that doesn't know about how to set the timeline for the essay 2, that's for the research proposal. can you give maybe like just a brief description of how the timeline should be?
Yeah. For the masters, it's meant to be a 24-month program. That's 2 years. While for the PhD, it's meant to be a 4 years program. That's 48 months. So the first year is we majorly be for the coursework. All right. Why? I mean, I'm talking about the masters now. Why the second year is going to be for the research work. So I think it's actually important you start early in your research proposal. You just break the timeline into let's say 4 quarters. The first 3 months might be for the research, for literature search. The next 3 months might be for drafting of your proposal. The next 3 months might be for consulting with your supervisor and giving you a go ahead. All right. So just break it down in such a way that you can follow the timeline. You can monitor your progress. All right. Because let me be clear here. In my own state, I'm in Mato Grosso do Sul. You have to update the scholarship body every 6 months about your progress.
Wow.
About your academic progress. How far have you gone? Academically, how well are you doing? If you're not doing well, the scholarship will be stopped. All right.
Wow.
If you don't have a timeline, definitely you're gonna have a problem.
Yes.
So it is what it is.
Okay, so thank you. Yes, I just want to add on the mentorship you spoke about earlier. I think you cannot overplay the role of a mentor in your life. So that's why ScholarChitChat is actually here to help people that don't know how to go about getting someone to talk to. So we're actually very happy that you agreed to join us today for this episode.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much.
It's my pleasure.
So to the next question, from your perspective, what common mistake do you think applicants make when applying for this mistake, and how can they avoid these mistakes?
Well, to be honest with you, the common mistake the applicants make might not actually be a mistake, so to say. You understand? Simply because of the fact that what a university or an institution is looking for in their prospective students differs. So for the fact that you are not able to give it to them, that might not really be a mistake, simply because what you call a mistake might be the point of interest of other institutions, right? So I think if I'm just going to give a tip generally, it's going to be like take your time to go through the institutions you want to apply to. Look at their research interest, because that is very vital. Look at the research interest. Let me use my department for instance now. They have studied research interest by economy, econometrics, and I think rural extension or something. So if your research interest doesn't align with that, I don't see why you're actually applying in the first place, right? So take your time. Every institution you'll be applying to, check out their research interest. So tailor your proposal and your motivation letter to be in tandem with that. So with that, you should be fine. Yeah, you should be good. Yeah,
so that brings me to my next question. You are saying applicants should tailor each application. So now for the proposal, does it mean if these 5 different universities have different research areas, you have to write 5 different proposals?
That's exactly. So if you're fortunate that the 5 institutions you're actually choosing have the same research interest, then that's perfect for you. That means you have a little job to actually do. But if the institutions are having different research interests, for you to have a higher chances, that means you have to write 5 proposals just to be in tandem with those departments.
Yeah, but the motivation letter can be SA1 can be the same.
SA1 can be the same, but even at that, there will be some little differences. You have to do some editing, kind of. So you shouldn't, because what motivates you has to be your passion for something, right?
Yes.
Your passion. So if your passion is not in line with your department, so there's no point. So definitely, as you write 5 different essays in the same vein, the motivation has to change a little bit as well.
Thank you very much for that answer. So are there any interviews or examinations, or is just the application?
I think I've actually answered this. GCUB is for the lazy ones. For GCUB, you don't have any interview, you don't have any examination. And that is why you have to give it to your best. The only examination you are having here is your proposal, because you'll not be there. You'll be judged based on your proposal, based on your and of course to actually add to it, your CV will be uploaded. So you're trying to sell yourself to those professors, because those are the things they will use in assessing you. So that is the examination you're actually having. You sell yourself very well, and
just how to make a very good first impression.
Exactly.
Thank you very much for your advice. So, what was your biggest cultural shock when you moved to Brazil?
Oh, the biggest cultural shock. Well, on getting to Brazil, I think Brazil is a country wherein a lot of things are actually allowed. Same-sex marriage is allowed. It's strange to me. Of course, where we're coming from Nigeria. I'm from Nigeria. So this is something that even if you do, it's not in the public, right? But it is legal. So, I mean, seeing them, for me, it's a cultural shock, right? So, but it is what it is. You just have to learn their culture and respect them for that, actually, right? And I think the second thing is Brazil, in terms of their food, every food of Brazilian you eat has mandioca. They call it mandioca. That's cassava. In our side, we call it gari. So they've twisted it in a way. So virtually every food, you are eating rice and beans, and you have gari. You have gari there. So for me, or you have cooked cassava. So this is something that I'm not really used to back home. So, but it is what it is. You just have to learn their culture. So if you're okay with it, you take it. If you're not okay, you just let it be. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Seeing that you are taught in Portuguese, how are you able to adjust academically and socially?
Oh, well, actually, I think for the social thing, language is actually needed, right? But sometimes your body language speaks volume. Okay, like in my department. So what actually give me the tenacity to forge ahead is I can talk, I can speak out, right? What of someone that is not privileged to speak? I mean, they are here and they're surviving. So how much more myself that I can speak? So, all I have to do is I have some, and let me actually put this out. Brazilians are very lovely people, very lovely people. For the fact that very few percent of them speak English, they wanted to learn this language because it's a fact that is known that with English you're a global candidate. So you have what they wanted, right? So everybody wants to associate with you. They want to learn the language with you. They want you to speak. They want to speak because now let me put this straight. In master's program here, if you're coming from an English-speaking country, before the end of your program, you have to be proficient in one other language. Say now I have to be proficient in either Portuguese, Espanol, or French, or is it Spanish or French, right? So before the end of my program, I have to learn the language. I have to write the test. I have to pass. It's a criteria, right?
Wow.
So it's a criteria. You just have to know how to. You have to present a certificate at the end of your program that you are proficient in this language. Okay. So now coming here, having know that I have to be. So you interact with them. I speak English most times. Sometimes it's frustrating, to be honest, right? It's very, very frustrating, but it is what it is. At least I've been here for like 3 months now, so it has been frustrating, but I'm learning and I'm coping. Yeah.
Okay, so I think I missed one question. Let me just go back to the question. The timeline for the scholarship and to the results announcement.
Yeah. I think for this year's edition, this is GCUB-Mob 4. It's the application window is starting opens on the 6th of this month, and it will be closing on the 13th of July of next month, right?
Yeah.
The results should be out, I think, by October 31st. October 31st. But in our case, our result was out in November. Okay, so there used to be some changes, but for this set, the result will be out in 31st of October.
Okay, so once the results are out, when will successful applicants travel to start their studies?
Yeah, well, I think one thing is if your name is you're fortunate to be shortlisted in the GCUB or something. One thing you should know is you have a pre-approved visa, because people that are shortlisted, mostly your name will be sent to the consular, so you just have to do some documentation. You have to do so. Why the name will be shortlisted by October, mostly the program starts by March. The following year. So, and of course, some people's program might be starting in August. So that means you have to wait till then. But if you're financially capable to be here, it's okay. It's fine. You can come around. All right.
Okay. So I think I read somewhere, I can't remember now where, but I don't know if it's true, that most times if you don't get paid early when you go, you have to sponsor your living and all that. How true is that?
I experienced it firsthand.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a witness because I actually came here in March, right?
Yeah.
And the registration window is closed when I came in late. So the registration window is actually closed, right? So, and for the fact that my scholarship, my state is responsible for the scholarship in my own case. So they have to capture my information in the month of April. So by bureaucracy of the state, I have to hold on a month before I'll be paid. So I think I received my first scholarship this month, June. So I'm a living witness to that.
So how were you able to cope?
Well, I think Brazil are benevolent enough to when I came in my school, for instance, now for GCUB students, we were given accommodation in the university hostel for 45 days, right? And of course you have free access to the restaurants for that 45 days. So that is the plan, is for you to settle down within that 45 days before you receive your first stipend. But in my own case, while I was having that complication, so I have to reach out to the dean of the postgraduate school, and I was given another accommodation just for me to, to be comfortable. So pending the time, I'll be paid. So they just make sure you just speak out to people. They can always offer assistance, and Brazilians are people that love to go extra mile to give you that assistance. So they are very nice people. But it's like, to be honest, apart from that, it's traumatizing. Yeah, being paid like roughly 3 months, very, very traumatizing. So I mean, when we are coming, just plan for the worst and hope for the best. So
does the scholarship support dependents?
Of course, yes. Brazil, you can come with your dependent. I think like the person I consulted in the first place, I said they were the first set. So he came directly with his family. But he came with his of course he advised we shouldn't do that. It's a tough one because you go into a new environment with your family, it's gonna be very demanding, right? So it's always nice to come around here, maybe yourself first, then of course you can survey the land and get prepared for the other family members. So while you're here, you can apply for family reunion and they can join you here. So you're good. Yes, it supports our family. Okay,
so that leads me to my next question. Because you said in the essay, you have to state that you are going, what you do to your home country. That means you have to go back to your home country.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that is relative. Let me put that officially. Now.
Okay.
Officially. Okay. You are to, because you are here to learn to leverage on their success and take it back home. But of course, there's still, for every rule, there's always an exception, right? So you can always navigate your way around that. I mean, this is a public space,
Yeah, because I was wondering why you come with your family and after 2 years, you still go back.
No. There's always a way around all this, So there's always a way around it.
Okay, so it's not actually very necessary for you to go back after.
Yeah, I mean, okay, say for instance, you are done studying here and you're fortunate to get a job. Because, you see, when people paint it outside there that, Brazil, what is in Brazil? I think the unfortunate thing about Brazil, because of the language, so Brazil is not really being sold out that much. But I tell you, particularly in agriculture, I can tell you, no, these guys are big. These guys are very, very big in agriculture. They are very big in agriculture. So now, where my institution is like the headquarters of agriculture, right?
Okay.
So after my study now, I'm fortunate. I understand the language. I'm fortunate to get a job here. So I'm fine. I'm good.
So thank you very much for your time today.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So finally, for our applicants who are considering applying for this scholarship, what advice will you give them, especially knowing what you know right now?
Yeah, thank you. I think at this juncture, I have to be clear about this because, as I said in the first place, I I burned a lot of night candles on YouTube, to be honest. So after the GCUB application, what I did was I started applying to individual universities, particularly those universities that have my courses, right? So I wrote some exam online. I wrote online. Some I was not shortlisted. Some I was able to make it. I passed through the interview stage. Then my name was shortlisted in the supplementary list. All right. So the additional tip I'll actually give someone is why you've applied for GCUB, you don't relent. If Brazil is your dream country, so to say, so you give it all you have, because that was exactly what I did. I knew, okay, fine, since other countries are not forthcoming, okay, now I'm settling for Brazil. I tried searching for schools that the admission is open. Nobody will tell me, because particularly this thing is even in Portuguese, so I have to translate. And that was why I actually said GCUB is for the lazy one. But for other individual application, it's require a lot of stress on your side. So, and outside that, could emailing those professors is a nice approach as well. Simply because when you could email them, you ask them, and particularly if your research interests align, so boom, you're good. The scholarship is there. So if a professor is actually interested in you, then you have it. I have some colleagues here that are here, not on GCUB. They just the normal school application, and they are here, and they have been given their stipend. So till when your program ends. So if you're coming to Brazil, just give it to your all. If Brazil is your destination, is your dream country, so to say. Right?
So thank you very much for sharing your insights and experiences with us today. Really appreciate.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I think one advice that has been constant from all our guests is hard work, actually. Nothing good comes easy. So if you want to achieve those dreams, you have to put in the work. Hard work is very, very important. So thank you for your advice and sharing your knowledge with us today. Really appreciate.
Thank you so much.
I'm sure our listeners, will find this helpful. Yeah.
Thanks so very much for having me.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so to our listeners, we hope you found this episode helpful. We are here for you. We'll continue to bring you different scholarship opportunities. Right now, we have over 30 different episodes on different scholarships. And these scholarships can open doors to amazing experiences and skills that will help you make a real difference in your home country and in your life generally also. See you next time. For the meantime, keep striving and